As you can see, we're at the Cowra War Cemetery today. Cowra was a pretty big area for people going across to all the different wars. There's a lovely little Japanese cemetery, war cemetery there as well. We'll have a look at it in a minute. And this is a little area here. It's dedicated to some of the soldiers who went to the wars, gave their lives. Some came back, some didn't. I could read out all the names, but I won't. Just do a very quick flick here. Okay, we won't be going to the Cowra War Camp today. We've already done a vid on that one, and you can have a look at that in our backlog. This is the Cowra War Cemetery, the Japanese War Cemetery, that is. During the 1940s, they established a POW camp, and a lot of the Japanese that died in that camp are buried in this area here. There's a big story that goes on to the Cowra breakout from the cemetery. There's Italians, there was Japanese, there was other nationalities, and yeah, there was a big breakout of the Japanese, and you can Google that one, have a look at that one. And we're just going to have a look at the war cemetery here. And as we walk along, you can see the Australian memorials there. And there's different billboards with different things that you can read about, which we're not going to do today. We're just going to have a bit of a look. Aren't they fascinating, these things? This is the Japanese War Cemetery section. Again, very well maintained. Cowra looks after the people. Like a little prayer altar type of thing, or I'm not too sure exactly what it's about, but contributed by the Yurasenki Foundation, Japan. Okay, in August 2004. There's the main memorial. Somebody's left some flowers, which is very nice. Very well maintained. The other part of the cemetery there, I believe there's going to be a burial, so we're staying well away from that side of the fence there. Give them a little bit of respect. But what a lovely little cemetery this one is. Let's just quickly go over, have a look at some of the names. Denjiro Shimamaru, Mabi Suhara, Genjiro Hamano. And see, they're well aged. These two are 50s, in their 50s. This one's 76. Seishi Shimizu He was 26, so he's quite young. So there's quite a lot here that are buried. We'll send respect to them. And all that were part of the POW camps here in Cowra. Send respect to all of you too. I give a lot of respect to those who gave their lives or who went and came back through all the wars. Thanks for your service, guys and girls. Quick story of the Japanese War Cemetery. The internment of Japanese civilians during the Pacific War took place in many parts of the world under Allied control. In Australia, 1,140 Japanese were interned at the Cowra War Camp. They were joined by 3,200 other Japanese internees who were transferred from New Zealand, New Caledonia, the Dutch East Indies and other places. The internees included second and third generation Japanese, Nisi and Sainsis, whatever, and Taiwanese and Koreans who were classified as Japanese at the time. Unattached male Japanese internees were sent to Loveday in South Australia and Hay in New South Wales, while women and family groups went to Cowra in Victoria. 193 people died while interned, largely from illness contracted while at the camps. They were buried at cemeteries and in locations of the camps. However, in 1964, the deceased were transferred to this Japanese war cemetery in Cowra. 10 of these burials are placed in the POW section as they were classified as POW merchant seamen during the war. So it's a little bit of a story there. The Australian War Cemetery and Japanese War Cemetery have their own origins in Cowra's experience of the Second World War. During the 1940s, two army establishments were situated in Cowra, a major infantry base located on the Sydney Road on the eastern side of Cowra. Around 8,000 troops passed through the camps, and soldiers who died from training accidents and illnesses are buried here. One grave is at a member of a Royal Air Force killed in a motorcycle accident just after the war. Right, in the number 12 prisoner of war internment camp that was constructed, it was known as the Cowra POW camp. It initially held Italian POWs and later Japanese POWs, some of whom were Korean and Chinese. The camp also held Indonesian civilians and merchant sailors who were interned on behalf of the Dutch government, the controlling authority in the Dutch East Indies. Right, the writing goes on and tells you a little bit more about the breakout. The Japanese who died prior to the breakout were originally buried in marked graves in this general location, but after the breakout in 1944, the graves were consolidated into a district area. After the war, members of the local RSL cared for the Japanese graves as well as the Allied graves. In 1963, the Japanese government submitted a proposal to the Australian government for the Japanese War Cemetery, which was agreed. All other Japanese who died during the war, civilians and military alike, including Japanese airmen, either shot down or crashed over northern Australia, had their remains brought to Cowra. Other Japanese remains from the Second World War have been interned here since then. There you go. So there's a little bit of history on the site. Alright, so I've popped a little K2 down here. And I've got a little REM potty thing here. So I'm just going to have a little bit of a quiet walk, just casually ask if there's any spirit around or connected to the wall years. If you'd like to come through, you can come forward to any of these devices here. Let us know that you're here. Just keep a little eye on this one here. Just a little bit in the shade as I wander around, have a look at some of the names. The VC Reed, Lieutenant, Private GD Boyle, Private MB Young, Infantry, Private CW Jones, Lieutenant Doncaster, BG Hardy, R Jones, as a private, CH Shepherd, JC Fraser, Infantry, Private JT Conair, Sergeant HR Scuts, he's in the Army Canteen Services, Private Johnson, Infantry, WM Virtue, Infantry, RK French, Infantry, G Davis, Infantry, MD Arnold, Battalion, J Harford, Infantry, AF Boyd, Infantry, AJ Carter, Infantry. He's only 19. Only 19. Song about that. AL Ulsbrook, EW Campre, Corps, Signal Corps, PJ Dominic, Infantry, JH Burke, Infantry, NF Carco, Infantry, RD Medley, Infantry, RC Carter, Corporal in the Royal Air Force, and a nice inscription down the bottom there saying he was all that a son could be. CDL Tool, Infantry, Private, I've been watching these little gadgets and nothing's lighting up here, so it's pretty quiet. Seems pretty quiet, this area. If there is anyone who wants to come through, please do so. Just touch one of these gadgets. Let us know that you're here. I think last time we came here it was pretty quiet too. We didn't get too much on the K2s or anything else like that. Okay, last time I came here I spotted this awesome statue on a grave. It belongs to Alice E.W. Dwight, died the 4th of December 1948, aged 15. He's a young fella, but he must have been enrolled at a young age in the young military corps or something. It was a bugler, obviously, and I reckon that was really cool. And this is a little area that's dedicated to the Dwight family. Violet Muriel also here, and Rupert Weverill Dwight. And this is the Cowra cemetery. Which is a decent size, very decent size. Just had a little bit of K2 activity just here in this Japanese section. Now a little bit closer. You see that okay? Yep, I think so. Might move that just in a little bit. So I've got a little REM pod there and a K2. Now I'm just going to do, there is a funeral just over the back fence that's happening. So I'm just going to do a very
Xbox scanning FM.
just going to do a very low S-box here. Hi. We are in the Japanese section. So if there's anyone here that's related to the war years who would like to come through, please do so. You've got a K2 meter and a REM pod that you can touch over here. And you can set that off. And you've got an S-box so you can talk through. Is there anything you'd like to tell us? Can you tell us your name?
Patterns of terror.
Space. Yes. She will be sick. Panic on we can.
Okay, I'm not too sure what's going on with the S-box, but I'll have a look through the video when we return home and see if anything comes up on it. If there's anyone here who'd like to say hi, my name's Rick, I come with a lot of respect, and I'd love to know your name.
11 o'clock.
Okay, sounds like a little bit of radio. Just arc up the speed a little bit and we'll see what happens. Anyone here would like to say hello? I'm Rick, come with a lot of respect. Could you tell us your name? Is there anything you'd like to tell me? Were you in the Cowra war camp? The prisoner of war camp?
Good on you, bro.
England great.
Did you die in the war camp?
Right, Kingston.
Were you part of the Cowra war camp breakout? Did you manage to break out of the camp?
You're on.
Alright.
The Oliver. Guys, with
Okay, it sounds like to me that there's a lot of radio happening at the moment, but I'll go through the footage and we'll check it out. I've got a little bit of activity here, not too much. Now we've got a bit of... Hello, can you light it right up for us, right to the red? How high can you light it up? I've got to say this might be my phone because I don't have it on flight mode at the moment. But then I'm right up close to it now and I've got nothing. So if that was somebody here, let's try it again. Okay, I'm getting nothing, so it's not my phone. So we've got a little bit of activity there. Thanks for coming through. Can you light that up for us again? You could also try this other one here. That one lights up and makes a bit of a beeping sound. I'll take this with me. Okay, too. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to leave it running. And we'll just have a look at some of these Japanese graves here. As I said, it's a really, really nicely laid out place. I believe the Japanese gardens in Cowra are fantastic as well. So well worth looking at. I don't know if we're going to get a chance to have a look at them. Okay, we've got a funeral happening over there, so I'm going to switch off for now. This section here is a really interesting section. There's all these little trees that have been planted, and they have memorials to, for instance, Junkichi Morimoto and Dane Marsh. That's one. We have a Tatsuo Shinohara and Sarah Parsons. Each one of these trees, even the established ones that you can see over there, they've all got a memorial to a Japanese and an Australian. And it's such a lovely touch. It's like bringing it all together, you know, in harmony, bringing some peace and harmony. Considering all the incidents from the war camps here and, you know, World War II era, all the happenings and whatever else. And here they're bringing the Japanese and the Australians together as one. What a lovely touch. Beautiful. I've got to say it's a very, very peaceful area. Lots of birds chirping around, birds nesting in the trees. Very serene area. Very well kept. Hello, Mr. Pigeon. How close can we get to you? Let's see how we go before you fly off. You a friendly one? You friendly? What do you think of this cemetery? Do you like it? What have you got to say? You got anything to say? Wonder how close we can get to you. Hello. What's your name? Have you got a name? Do you like this place? It's a lovely place. Is this your home? Is this where you live? Oh, there you go. Even he likes it here. Could be a she. Looks more like a she. There you go. Alright, well thanks for watching the vids, guys. Hope you enjoyed.